भजहुरे मन श्रीनन्दनन्दन अभय चरणार विंदरे भजहुरे मन श्रीनन्दनन्दन अभय चरणार दुर्लभ मानव जन्म सत्संगे दुर्लभ मानव जन्म सत्संगे करो हे भव सिंधुरे करो हे भव सिंधुरे पाठवरेशन ये दीनया मेरे जागे पाठवरेशन ये दीनया मेरे जागे विपद विनो कृपण गर्जन सफल सुफल फलाधिरे विफल विनो कृपण गर्जन सफल सुफल फलाधिरे ये धन यौवन पुत्र परिजन एक की आते परती रे यौवन पुत्र परिजन एक की आते परती रे कमल दल दल देवन कलमल भजो हरिपद निधिरे कमल दल दल देवन कलमल भजो हरिपद श्रवण कीर्तन स्मरण वंदन पाद सेवन दास श्रवण कीर्तन स्मरण वंदन पाद सेवन दास पूजन सखी जनात्मनिवेदन गोविंद कबीरास रे पूजन सखी जनात्मनिवेदन भज गोरे मन श्रीनंदनंदन अभय चरणारविंद रे भज गोरे मन श्रीनंदनंदन अभय चरणारविंद रे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Tayo ye bhava sindhu re, tayo ye bhava sindhu re, Govinda das Avidas re, Govinda das
Radhidas
Bhaja Hure Mana Srinandana Bhaya Karana Ravindare Bhaja Hure Mana Srinandana Bhaya Karana Ravindare Vallabhavanavadanamasatsange Haro ye bhava sindhure Haro ye bhava sindhure Haro ye bhava sindhure Kaliyuga Pavana Harinama Sankirtana ki Antakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Om Ajnana Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuvannilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvidamscha Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadesatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Happy to be with all of you this evening. I heard from Leelananda Prabhu that many of the attendees of the Slate program, they have been very much feeling a sense of crisis due to the COVID situation. And so we had intended to do one topic today, which was actually balancing extremes. But that will require a cool head to sit and discuss. Actually, that's very, very important topic also. Some of you might have done the activities also, I believe. But I will not do that today because at the moment, world situation and Hyderabad situation also is very acute COVID. So people even asked me, how are you traveling? Now I am traveling from here to Dharwad, Dharwad to Bangalore, and Bangalore to Pune. I was telling inside our temple also there are COVID cases in Pune also. So inside the temple, outside, everywhere, all over it is. So seeing that, I thought, anyway, there is no safe place. Like we say, padam padam yati padam natesham. Any place you go, there is COVID everywhere. So then I thought I will exercise whatever caution is to be taken and then continue traveling. So I went to Varanasi, I went to Kanpur, went to Calcutta, all these places, and I take whatever due care we can take, that much I take, and I go on with my preaching. So in Pune, I want to tell you a little story of one family in Pune. This family, they are Pushti Margi people, nice people, worshippers of Srinath ji in the home. Mother is a very ardent Krishna devotee. So she had two sons. Uh, elder son is a very intelligent boy. I mean, grown up, he must be probably 30, 34, 35, I think. The younger boy may be like 28 or 29, I think. Uh, so the younger son came to pick me up from the temple. He was telling me, please come to our home. On the way, he was telling me a story about their family. He said he actually had done some IT and he was planning to work in IT field. Whereas the elder brother was an MBA from abroad and a very intelligent fellow. He started a industry and he took 5 crores loan. But all the people who paid the loan, they were all chasing after him to get the money back, get our 5 crores back. So his company was running on loss. So he was wondering how to pay back the money. But do you know what was the company producing? The company was producing masks, face mask. That's what they were producing before. And it was not at all in demand in those days. The moment COVID started, he earned 35 crores. So he couldn't believe. And of course, 5 crores paying back was very easy. He paid back. So 30 crores came and the family became very jubilant that our business boomed and everything. And then this second boy was selling. But although my brother is a very intelligent fellow, earlier he was struggling for even paying back the loan. Now we are actually floating in money, but we have another crisis, he said. Crisis is his elder brother has some gastrointestinal problem uh, in the tract, in this tract. They have put some device for him to even do normal activity. There's some serious ailment. So, and adding to that, COVID also joined along with that. Uh, so he said he's admitted in the hospital. So they called me to the home, and the doctors are very hopeless about his being saved. Although he's a man of great will and very confident man, intelligent man, and all that. So they had allowed his wife and two kids, one son, one daughter, to meet the husband. So they were along with him, but the other family members were here. So I was speaking to them. So after I spoke to them, probably that fellow must have survived for about 2 to 3 days, I think. So after that, the elder fellow passed away. But he was in the hospital, but he was listening with great enthusiasm and interest on the video call. They put a video call for him to listen. So that elder son was telling me, very, very smart boy. He was telling that, in my life, I always had a great eagerness to study, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Srimad Bhagavatam. Um, in fact, I had because my parents are all Pushtimargi family. So he said that I also had a desire to study Bhagavatam, but there was no time because I had set up a new business. Life was always extremely busy. So I asked him, what do you want me to speak? So he himself told me that, doctors have given hope in my case, and I'm not very sure how long will I live. So Parishit at least had 7 days. He knew for sure that 7 full days he will live, but in my case, I'm not very sure. So he told me if he can give me the essence of Bhagavatam, and he only suggested his mother to take Bhagavatam at home. So I put Bhagavatam in their home, worshipped the Bhagavatam, and then I spoke to him. For about 1 hour, I spoke the essential Bhagavatam. So I told him the 2 questions asked by Parikshit. अतः पृच्छामि संसिद्धिं योगिनां परमं गुरुं पुरुषस्येह यत्कार्यं म्रियमाणस्य सर्वदा. So Parikshit asked 2 questions. I told him that what is the duty of a dying man and what is the duty of a normal man living in this world. And Prabhupada says there is not much difference between the two because normal man also will be a dying man one day or other. Everybody has to leave the body in this world. And the duty for both the people is the same. The duty is, as Shukadeva Goswami told, Tasmat Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Nishwaro Harihi Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavyascha Chatha Bhayam. So he says that such a person should actually hear about the Supreme Lord, Shrotavya, and you should glorify the Supreme Lord. and remember those wonderful pastimes of the Supreme Lord. And Ichata Abhayam, if you really want to become free from fear, he says these three things one should do. So then after that, I spoke many, many pastimes of Krishna. And I told him the difference between fear, desire, duty, and love. You know, worshipping God out of fear and out of sense of, out of desire for, or we can say fear, greed, gratitude, and love. We can say. Some people worship God out of greed for some material commodities. Some people worship God out of gratitude for what He has given us. And then some worship God out of love. And then when I was speaking about God, worshipping Lord out of love, he said, this is marvelous knowledge, He said, right now I am in a position where nothing material matters to me. He said, uh, nothing, somebody will give me a, now he said, in my business I made 35 crores profit now recently. How does it matter to me? Not a single penny is going to come with me. In fact, he said, I'm persuading my younger brother to take up this business, but he's IT fellow. He's not interested. But now, in my absence, he only has to run the business. So we made a good money, but I'm not here to enjoy that money. So he said, I can very much resonate with what you are talking. He said, in this world, everything is temporary. Uh, Everything is slipping out of my hands. The only thing I can carry with me is love for God. So he asked, how can I develop that love for God? He said, I have some attraction for Krishna's pastimes already being taught in my family. So then you please tell me more about love of God. And then I told about the chanting of the holy name and told many pastimes, so Krishna's pastimes in childhood pastimes from Vrindavan, and also the Lord's qualities and his. So he heard with a lot of interest. Then he also asked his wife, I want to hear some more recordings of Prabhuji, and he heard some more. I heard that next 2-3 days, he heard practically all day he was hearing different Krishna Rasayanam, kathas. He was hearing. Many times we have a ocean of lectures available with us, but they don't make much sense to us. But when we are in an hour of crisis, he said, I would have never taken out time to hear about God so much as much as I am doing now. He said, because now anytime I am going to quit the body now. So he said, I want to utilize this time to my level best now. So, like you see, there was one Russian devotee living in Mayapur. So he used to go behind the temple through the Goshala. There is a road you go to the Goshala. Every day he used to go, to Goshala. Near there's a library also there in Mayapur. So one of the days when he was going, he saw one board, but there all the boards they write in Bengali language in Mayapur. Everything is like a jalebi, round, round, round. You don't understand what is it. So this fellow used to see the board. So one Bengali boy was coming. So this Russian devotee asked him, hey, can you please tell me what is written on the board? So then that fellow said, this is Sulabha Shauchalaya, which means it's a washroom, he said. The Russian devotee thanked him and rushed immediately inside because he had to clear up his bladder. He had to pass water. So he ran inside and he passed water and then washed his hands, feet, everything and came. So later on, that Russian devotee was telling, Prabhu, I have been walking through the same road for last 2-3 years and I never bothered about what this board is. It never made any sense to me because I never cared about it, nor was it necessary for me to ask from somebody about it. But now I saw people going and coming out. I thought it may be a washroom, which can get a power cut. Okay? So, so now it really mattered to me. I needed to know the place. Where is the washroom? Go inside. No, he has not brought the power cut. Tell him quickly. Yeah. So, so then it became important for him. You understand, isn't it? It became very, very important at that time. So, of course, he found the place. Similarly, why I told you this, the Bhagavatam set may be in my home, lying in the cupboard, a power card in it. So in the same manner, for him it became very, very relevant. He told his mother to take a Bhagavatam set and study. He himself heard the Srimad Bhagavatam. He gave some guidance to his brother and what to do for the business. But the most amazing thing for me, although he is not like a Pakka Hare Krishna devotee, he is now beginning to understand what is ISKCON. He said, I've heard about ISKCON, I know a little bit about ISKCON, I haven't been much. But when he heard the philosophy, he very much appreciated. But he left his body very cheerfully. That's the most important thing. He actually told his wife and two children also, not to worry about it. In fact, he was preaching to them. You see, the soul never dies. Huh? He said, and the body can never be alive. So he was asking them that even if somebody is put in the hospital, say somebody is 88 years old, for example, they are admitted in the hospital. All relatives are weeping and crying, oh, let him be saved. And in case he is saved at the age of 88, and then he is walking, moving at home, then he becomes 95. Now again he is bedridden. So you will find in this world, we want our relatives to live endlessly for all time. We don't want to be separated from them. So that's what he was telling his relatives that, see, everybody's body has to expire one day. Some people expire at the age of 30 or 40. Some people expire at 80 or 90. But the body must expire one day. So it's not very important how the body expires. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said some people's body expires by a snake bite. Some people's body expires by a accident or something. Some people's body expires by, fever, high fever or something. Uh, so, but the metal body is actually meant for destruction. Jatasya hi dhruvam mrityur, dhruvam janma mritasya cha. So he attained that maturity just within 3 days. That the body has to perish one day. So therefore, when all the relatives are coming and weeping and everything, he was telling them, actually whatever I told, he was saying the same thing to them. I had told in the lecture several times, hope for the best and be prepared for the worst. So what is the worst thing that can happen? That the person may not survive, the body may be lost. And the soul has to quit the body and occupy another body which is fit for him to function afterwards. And what is the best thing that can happen? One may come out of it. Like here in Hyderabad, there was one donor, Mahendra Ujjavargi. He was an elderly man, 75 or something. When he got COVID, immediately we all were offering prayer and everything. Now he came out of it. Yesterday morning, I met him in the temple here. There are people who are 75, 80 also who have come out of COVID safely, and they are normally moving. And then there are also people who are 38 or 42. Two of our congregation members in Hyderabad passed away, both initiated devotees, 38 and 42 years of age. Both had a blood clot, I heard, leading to massive heart attack, blockage of the arteries or something. So that is also due to COVID-induced blood clot, and then that leading to heart this thing. So they were young, very young, and they left. And somebody is very old, 75, 80, they have survived also. So which clearly shows that Lord has a plan for everybody. Lord has our accounts of who should live how long in a particular body, particular situation. And that much time, Lord will let them live in that particular body. And then the expiry date is already written in the Brahma Lipi, we call it. At the time of birth, this just like in a medicine bottle, there is an expiry date. After that, you don't use the medicine anymore. It is invalid after that, isn't it? Similarly, this body also, the Atma should reside in this body for this much period of time, and will live. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, you'll be amazed to know when Parikshit was born. I think it is in the first canto, 12th chapter. All the Brahmanas came and spoke all the wonderful qualities of Parikshit. They gave a long list of qualities. He'll be charitable like Ranti Dev. He'll be devoted like Prahalad. He'll be patient like the Mother Earth. He'll be strong-willed like the Mount Sumeru, and he'll be as powerful as Arjuna in archery, like that. He'll be as Dharmaparayan like Yudhishthira Maharaj. So they glorified him very, very nicely, beautifully. And after that, in the course of telling about his future activities, prophesizing about his activities, they also made a point that, towards the end of his life, he will get a Brahma shop, cursed by a Brahman, and he will quit his body in 7 days, bitten by a serpent called Takshaka. Like that, they told about his history. Now, Yudhishthira Maharaj did not ask one word about his death at all. He never asked, who is that Takshaka? Why will he bite him? Will Lord Krishna protect him? Will he save him? Why he has to have such a death? Why can't he have a normal death? And nothing of that sort. So I was very surprised when I saw that. Why Yudhishthira Maharaj is uninterested about the death of Parikshit. He's hearing everything. He's also asking repeatedly one question. This is asking, will he be virtuous? Will he be a follower of Krishna? Will he be faithful to his forefathers in terms of following the path of dharma and everything? That he is very keen. But he is not very keen about his death. So therefore, Prabhupada says in one of his lectures, how you are born, how you die is not very important. How you live your life, that is very important. How we have lived our life, the substance of your life, the content of your life, that is most important. Somebody may, that's what Prabhupada talks in the Bhagavatam. Shankaracharya lived only 32 years. You see, in 32 years, what a miracle he did. All over India, he drove out the Buddhism, established the Vedas again. And now, for all time to come, he made an indelible impression in the society. That he became a great spiritual hero. So much so that even all across the globe, people talk about how he established the Vedas in India. At a time when the atheism was at its peak, he drove out the atheism and instilled the faith in the Vedas. Just within 32 years, you can see that. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived only 48 years. So life may be short, but it is a quality life. Like Prabhupada gives an example in the Prahalad Maharaja's section. Like, when you dig the ground, you can remove 10 truckloads of sand, and then you may get one palmful of gold. Imagine if you get one palmful of gold after removing 10 truckloads of sand. The sand is so much, but is of no value compared to the palmful of gold you got. If the sand would cost you, even if it would cost you 20,000 rupees, the gold you took out will be like 20 crores or 2 crores or something like that. The idea is it's much, much more costlier. Similarly, there's a big difference between the body and soul. So the body is simply a baggage for the residence of the soul. It's just a residence for the soul. So one should, this is what Prahalad Maharaj says, you should see the difference between the soul and the body very clearly, like the gold and the sand. So when one understands it, then one understands that the soul is everlasting. The residence of the soul in this material body is only like a flash of time in the time span of eternity. Eternity is so vast. In that it's only a small flash of time, 70 years, 80 years, 100 years. It's small. So we shouldn't attach too much importance to the residence in the material body. On the other hand, we should focus our eyes on how a person is living, what impression he creates. Yeah, like you see in Pune, Mother Janava Devi, she had 2 daughters. She raised them very nicely. Right from childhood age, she taught them devotional service. Amongst them, the younger one, Shyam Sundari Mataji, she was a very, very devoted girl, exactly following in her mother's footsteps. She learned how to worship Radha Shyam Sundar at home and how to dress them, how to decorate them, how to put up festivals for them. She would gather a lot of girls at home and put up a very good festival. Congregation devotees would appreciate her, and she was multifaceted talent she had. She was a dramatist also. She was a singer. She was very good in playing harmonium and singing songs, even writing poems. Janamaji later on would show, if you go to her room, all over the room there will be, Maharaja's quotes, Paramahansa Radhanath Maharaja's quotes will be stuck on the wall, everywhere put up. There's a lot of photos as well as quotes also. She would every morning see. And so she was a very devoted child, but at one point of time, there was one pancreas explosion in her belly or something. She left the body at a young age. Probably she must be 25 to 30. I think probably not even 30, but probably 20 to 25, I think. So it was a big loss for many of the ladies in Pune community when she left her body. So everybody was remembering her devotional qualities. So she made an indelible impression by her devotion, by her devotional service and by her sublime spiritual qualities. Even today, people remember in Pune. So all of us in our life, while we are alive, seated in this bodily machine, yantra rudanimaya, we should try to spend every moment very carefully. See, that is only possible if we cultivate self-management. So I wanted to say a little bit about self-management. Why? Because in a time like this COVID time, even though in some houses there is no COVID come till now, they are too much panicky now. Seeing that all over the world, the COVID is chasing after people, anybody it catches, big people, small people, because there is some amount of uncertainty and uncontrollable situation in the world. People are becoming very, very panicky. And I would request you not to be panicky, because the Atma can never be killed. Atma is always alive. And if you are, like Prabhupada was making kachori in Calcutta when the bomb was dropped by the Japanese people. So Prabhupada was smiling. Prabhupada said, if the bomb is dropped on my house and my house is set ablaze and I die, no problem, because I am now singing Hare Krishna, making kachoris for offering to Krishna. So I am rightly situated in my consciousness. Then in this way, I will leave this body and land in spiritual world, remembering the Lord. And in case the bomb doesn't explode our house, I am alive, I will offer the kachori to Krishna, and both me and my wife will eat kachori and be happy. Like that is said. So either way, for a devotee, it is victory. There is nothing to lose for a devotee. So therefore, the quality of our life is what that matters. And that is the reason why Yudhishthira Maharaj was uninterested in asking about Parikshit's death. You see, Parikshit knew very well that the Lord of my life, Krishna, he protected me at the time of my birth in my mother's womb. And the same Lord, I didn't ask him, but Lord protected me. Now, if he wishes to protect me at the time of my death, he will protect me. If he doesn't want to protect me, that means he wants me to go to the next destination. Because if I hang around here, then Kali cannot do his job. Kali Yuga cannot progress. So Lord wants me to return back to Godhead. So therefore, he is not stopping the death from approaching me. So let me accept this death as Lord's arrangement. So same way Prabhupada said, today Krishna has come in Calcutta in the form of a bomb. Like that he said. He saw the bomb as Krishna's energy manifestation. Like that he saw. So the devotee of the Lord is ready for anything and is not worried. It is just like an injection. What is death like? You see, sometimes an ant pinches you. One moment, some trouble in the body, and then next moment you're out of the body. Then you go to the next destination, next body or spiritual world. For a devotee, the future is always bright. There is no loss for a devotee who has performed devotional service. Nahi kalyana krit kaschit durgatim tata gacchati. Krishna says there is no loss for a devotee who has been chanting, who has been reading the scriptures, who has been living with devotees, who has been always contemplating on the welfare of other living entities. How can there be any misfortune for such devotees? So all of us are following in the footsteps of Prabhupada's teachings in his books. So we have nothing to lament, nothing to worry about. If you live, we will continue practicing and preaching. If you have to leave, then we will go to the next destination and do what Krishna wants us to do. So, and that's where Prabhupada quotes about this trees. He says that there are trees which live even for 5,000 years or 7,000 years also, like these redwood trees in the West. Their life is very long, but the quality of the life is, just think about it. They are very dull creatures. They just have no consciousness at all. They just stand erect for thousands of years. We don't want to live a life like that. We want to live a meaningful life, purposeful life. So I was using the word self-management. There are several words beginning with the word self, like self-development is another thing. And self-management is another thing. Self-control is a preliminary stage of self-management. But in self-management, there are 5 aspects of self-management. Self-management is managing yourself, managing your emotions, managing your life in such a way that you will be peaceful. Which means your personal performance and professional performance is not affected by the environment or by the people around you. That's the meaning of self-management. Others, you don't blame the environment You don't blame the people around you, uh, and you don't blame yourself also. What you do is you think what is the best course of action for me now in order to lead me to success. That means you manage your emotions in such a way that you always think very positively about what is the best course of action I can do. So in these 5 things, I'll tell you what are the 5 aspects of the self-management. First is goal setting. Goal setting means this is the most important thing. Where am I now? I'm in material world. Where do I want to go? To spiritual world. So that is ultimate goal. That is actually called Shreyas. And many people don't have a Shreyas, they have a Prayas, short-term goal. They think about material goals. And actually, because of the material goals, they are always living a life of fear. Anytime anything can happen. So therefore, the prayers actually we should make both short-term goals and long-term goals in material life and spiritual life, both. It is important for everybody. We should not live our life aimlessly like playing football without the goal post. That would be ridiculous, isn't it? We need a clear-cut goal. So why I'm telling you short-term goal and long-term goal. Actually, long-term goal is a very far away thing, but we have to make short-term goals, even in spiritual life also. For example, our ultimate goal is to go back to Godhead, but I should be doing things which will lead me there. Therefore, we have to make short-term goals. What are the short-term goals I should do? What Prabhupada wants, what my spiritual master wants, and what all if I do, I will become more and more spiritualized. So those things we do as short-term goals. In material life also, you make short-term goals for the children and family. You make long-term goals. So you have a very clear-cut goal, and that is actually called the vision. Vision means where am I now? Where do I want to go? And what route I should take to go. So the vision should be very clear. So that is goal setting. And the second aspect of self-management is managing your time. And in the managing the time, there are 4 aspects. One is do. Do means urgent and important. Right now only I have to do it. Do it. Like for example, somebody is a COVID patient, they are struggling with their breathing. So it's urgent and important. Immediately you have to take them to the doctor, isn't it? Do it. And another aspect of managing our time is decide. Decide means should I do it or should I delegate it or should I delete it? It's not necessary. You have time to decide about those things. That's the decide. Decide means not urgent, but important. If it is important, you can't delete it. You can't delegate to others. If it is very important, you only have to do it. But you can schedule it. You can plan for it. You can. So therefore, when we talk about either do it right now means urgent, important. Decide means urgent. No, sorry, not urgent, but important. And this is the quadrant which is most important for devotees. Because in this quadrant, we can plan, we can do training and education, we can prepare succession, we can actually also take care of our body by exercise, health and diet and everything. We can also make a schedule. When will we do what, and we can do preventive maintenance. All these things comes in this second quadrant, which is called decide. Actually, those devotees, and one of the aspects of this decide is studying Prabhupada books very deeply to get a strong shelter in Krishna's lotus feet. Actually, if we have developed a very strong shelter in Krishna's lotus feet, nothing can frighten us. Radha Gopinath once was telling, one boy told his father, Papa, you walk on that sidewalk and I will walk on this sidewalk. Father said, why don't we go together? Boy said, no, I want to be free. I want to walk, but you keep an eye on me, okay? You come on that side, he said. So they both were walking like this. Suddenly, the small kid, he saw a bulldog sitting on the walkway. The bulldog lifted his head and looked at him. The boy got frightened. Then he crossed the road and ran to the father's side. The dog also, walked behind him. So as soon as he went to his father and caught hold of his father's hands, then he looked behind and the dog was there. He just gave a kick to the dog. Hey, get lost. He had no fear now. So how could he give a kick to the dog and the dog ran away? Because he's holding father's hands. And same is true for all of us. The second quadrant is the quadrant where we can take out time to study Shastras contemplatively, reflectively, deeply, in such a manner that we experience shelter in our lives. And that is spiritual shelter. Samashrita ye padapallava plavam mahatpadam punya yasho murare bhavam buddhir vatsa padam param padam yat vipadam natesham. This verse says that one should experience the safe shelter. Somebody asked Prabhupada, so Swamiji, what is this shelter we hear? How to take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet? Can you give an example? So Prabhupada said, see, if you are supposed to go out on a rainy day, but yeah, beautiful big silver coach is arranged for you, which has a very nice carriage at the top, drawn by very big horses. It's like a king's royal, coach. So they open the door, you go inside, they close it, and there are windows with curtains and everything. You're sitting comfortably, and the horses are going tak 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 tak. They're going ahead. Although it's a rainy day, you can open the window and watch the beauty of the rain also. Not even a drop will touch you, isn't it? And then when the horse is going, in the middle of the road, if there is a puddle made by a calf and that contains water, how easily the coach will cross over that puddle. Like that, devotees cross over this material existence, like the Prabhupada said. And this is the meaning of this verse, he said. That's how a devotee feels in Krishna's devotion. One feels safety. So out of these two quadrants, first one is do, second one is decide. Many of us actually keep our lives too busy and do. I have to do this, I have to do that. I have to follow up this, I have to preach this, I have to get this, I have to get that. So we don't get sufficient time to dwell on the philosophy and allow it to sink into our hearts. And therefore, this is also very important. Therefore, quadrant 2 means, like I told you, training and educating people who will take the lower rung of responsibility, so that people on the higher rung can, increase their samadhi and their contemplation and absorption. In the same manner, planning, preparing, scheduling in advance to do things, all these things. Similarly, preventive maintenance, anticipating future problems and preparing in advance for that. All that comes in second quadrant, which is the decide quadrant. And also taking out time for good health. Like, I'm supposed to take, my doctor told me oil bath you should take at least twice, thrice in a week. You travel a lot and all that. But sometimes for 3 weeks, I may not be able to take oil bath and my head will be like a matchstick. It will be on fire. Too much of heat in the body because of neglecting. Then health gets spoiled. So devotee means, like Prabhupada himself took oil bath daily, and he went for a walk, morning walk, and kept himself very energetic and powerful, so he could give himself to the world very nicely. So also, that is called self-care also. So all this comes in quadrant 2, which is decide. So do and decide are two very important. And the other two, the third and fourth quadrant, we call it as delegate and delete. And delete means useless talks, useless emails, prajalpa, all those things come in delete, fourth quadrant. And the third quadrant is delegate, means there are many things you don't have to do it yourself. Like somebody sends me a heavy Google Drive file, 150 MB, 300 MB and all that. So I won't do it. I will just forward that mail to my assistant. He will download and give me in a pen drive. That saves my time. I'll delegate the work to somebody else. So anyway, in our lives, time is very precious. We only have 24 hours. So after we do the setting the goals, material and spiritual goals clearly, we should learn the art of spending one moment like one gold coin. Ayusha kshana ekopi, nalabhya swarna kotibhi. We should measure and spend time. We should not waste time. Every moment is an opportunity for enhancing our consciousness, our Krishna consciousness, to become a better devotee. So, and then, therefore, in order for us to be able to do this effectively, out of the self-management, 3 more we have to remember. LCD, you can remember. Learning agility, and C for communication skills, and D for decision making. See, what is decision making? For example, if you have to go from Pune to Bombay, for example. So The goal is already set. But the decision making means, should I halt at Lonavala for an hour and go to the mountainside and take a little puff of fresh air and then go to Chapati for the morning Bhagavatam class? Huh? Or should I just go to Chapati, attend the class and then relax? you know, so that is decision we have to make in our lives. Similarly, in our material life also sometimes, as grihasthas, you all have experienced that sometimes it appears to us that first let me set right my material life, then let us take spiritual life very seriously. Huh? People think like that, but then material life becomes so absorbing that spiritual life goes for a toss many times. So the decision making becomes all important. Now in COVID period, mind says, throw everything to the wind. COVID. First, let me set right this COVID. Huh? After that, I will become a good devotee. Huh? But WHO, World Health Organization, they are saying that we don't see any possibility of COVID stopping for 3-4 years, they are saying. They are saying that appears like a never-ending thing. It's going to go on and it's out of control. They are just predicting many things like that. Of course, good news for us from our Indian astrologers is after September it will be gone. This year itself. So whatever has to happen will happen. But what I'm saying is don't wait for the COVID to go off from this planet so that you can start doing devotion service. You know, Gajendra never told, until this crocodile leaves my feet, I can't do devotion service. He didn't say that. In fact, the crocodile was catching, that actually accelerated his devotional service. That accelerated. In fact, when Lord Vishnu came, Gajendra actually picked up a lotus and did archana for Vishnu. He said, right now I don't have anything else to offer. The only thing which is within my influence is this lotus. So he picked up that lotus and he offered it without giving any excuses why I can't do devotional service. You can see Gajendra's situation. So therefore, learning agility means we should always be like a child, eager to learn. We should never think, I am senior, I know a lot, I have read a lot. You will see that genuine devotees always are in a mood of learning. Even from juniors, you can learn. There's so much to learn. So those are open to learning will also grow very nicely in spiritual life. And communication skill is actually our interaction with other devotees. We should never create any new account with other devotees in such a way that we create a acidic relationship with anybody. We don't want. We should always remember this body is temporary. Death will come at any time. Let me have a good account with everybody. Therefore, Parikshit Maharaj told this famous verse. He said, Punascha bhuyat bhagavatyanante ratim prasangascha tadashrayeshu mahatsu yam upayami srishtim sarvatra maitrestu namod vijebhyaha. He is saying that, my dear Lord, Punascha bhuyat, in case I have to be born again in this world, I will beg of you 3 benedictions, he said. The first one, he said, let me have love for Supreme Lord Krishna. And the second thing he said, let me get the association of devotees. Thirdly, he said, let me not create enmity with any other living entity. Sarvatra maitri astu, he said. Let there be friendly behavior with all. Like right now, I put one dead snake in the neck of Samik Rishi. And I earned enmity unnecessarily with the Shringi. In my next life, if I am born here again, let me not have enmity with any jiva. Let me be friendly with all. Like that he said. So that is communication skill. Communication actually means we should effectively tell people what we want to tell them, and we should effectively listen to people with patience and keep a relationship which is conducive, cordial, and which will not cause aparadha. That is the real meaning of communication skill. And willingness to learn from all types of devotees, communicating with seniors, equals, and juniors effectively, and making decisions which will not inhibit our spiritual progress. Both material life decisions, spiritual life decisions should be made in such a manner that it will actually enhance our spiritual growth. So these are the 5 aspects of managing our life. So I told you goal setting, time management, and learning agility, communication, and decision making. In each of these requires our attention to consciously manage our life. We need actually the first verse of NOI. Vacha Vegam, Manasa Vegam, Krodha Vegam. If you nicely follow that verse, then these 5 can be managed very effectively. So, like for example, those who don't control their senses properly and practice spiritual life, they will not know the priority. That means they are poor in decision making. They will know what is the priority. They will not know. And they will also be not in control of their time. They will oftentimes waste enormous time in trivial activities and not have time for the vital activities. So there are 2 types of activities. There are trivial, there are vital. For example, somebody says, I will open the computer and I will read Prabhupada's book from the Veda base or something. And then they're reading half a page and immediately some pop-up comes, some email or something comes. Then they click it and go to the email and they start replying. And then they start browsing the multiple emails which have come, and immediately they find 2 hours have gone away. That means they were distracted by trivial things while ignoring the vital thing. Correct, no? So that is because of lack of self-management. That means they don't know what is the priority. That which is to be, delegated or deleted, they are actually getting into doing it, like that. So in the same manner, each of it you can think about. Communication, for example. They will have a very sweet relationship with karmis, and with devotees they will quarrel. What a funny thing. Is it effective communication skill? Communication skill effectiveness means with everybody we should be kind, and especially while dealing with devotees, we have to take care that we don't unnecessarily get into tussles amongst devotees, because aparadha is more serious than pap also, sins also. So in the same manner, sometimes we may become stagnated in our learning. We may not actually enhance our understanding of knowledge day by day, month by month, year after year, because of the profuse responsibilities that we take. Just like we brush our teeth or take a bath or eat our food, we have to have a program for every day should be a day of little increment in our knowledge of Krishna consciousness. Every day should be an increment of little more bliss. Every day should be an increment of some wisdom on how I can make my Krishna consciousness better, isn't it? So therefore that, and open to learning from different devotees. So in this way, this type of managing our life will also, with a very crystal clear philosophical understanding that Atma is permanent, body is temporary. Everybody has to leave the body one day, today or tomorrow. It's only a matter of time. Like Yudhishthira Maharaj had such clarity, you see, and we are all followers of Krishna's devotees. So we should have no fear. We should know for sure that Krishna's protection is very much there for those who practice devotion service. Whether they have to leave the body or whether they have to live longer, whatever it be. And our over-identification with material body will make us atheistic. If I have seen even devotees sometimes, they wanted to protect some member of the family and they passed away. And then the people said, what is this? Krishna didn't protect this devotee. And so they think protecting the devotee means the devotee has to go on living forever in this body for all time. Everybody has to leave the body one day, material body. So, and what is happening now in this world is called mass karma, like COVID. Somebody may ask, if you talk about mass karma, some people are killing the cows and aborting their children, or in Wuhan, somebody is eating all dirty creatures, and then from there something is coming out and the germ and is torturing other innocent fellows. We may think like that. Actually, Lord is so precise in administering what is due quota for every living being. He can never be wrong. We should be convinced about it. So he knows who should get what and who should be given what. He knows exactly. We should have complete faith in him. He is the supreme witness. He is the Upadrashta, Anumanta, Bharta, Bhokta, Maheshwara, Paramatmeti Chapyukto, Dehesmin Purushapraha. He is the director and he is also all loving. The father of all living beings. He knows what is best for everybody. in Chowpatty temple, once I was sitting for a Bhagavatam class. Many devotees are very disturbed because one devotee, Krishnadas Prabhu, in Vrindavan had left the body in Vrindavan the day before. So devotees know him because in Yatra time, Paramita Ranath Maharaj would call him. That Prabhu will be wearing a red color tilak. He's from Pushtimar. So he's a very good singer and very good talker also, speaker also. So, but you know how he left the body in Vrindavan? You know, he was going in a bike and one truck came from behind, like that it hit him. So the bike actually, instead of going on the road, the bike slipped and fell to the sidewalk, the side of the road, which was almost like 3-4 inches lower. So the truck went ahead, but this Prabhuji with the bike, when he fell the left side, the bike went like this. Well, he also fell. When he was falling to the ground, his head hit a stone. And on the spot, he left. And not even a drop of blood. Huh? Nothing happened to him. Just one hit. That's all. He left the body. So all devotees were very put off hearing this. Oh, we can't see him again, and such a wonderful devotee and all that. They were like, why Krishna did this to him? He is actually a foreign devotee, but he lived in Vrindavan and he became a devotee of Krishna and all that. So Maharaj, at the end of his lecture, Maharaj asked a question to all of us. He said, imagine Maharaj didn't quote his name, but Maharaj is very intelligent. He knows exactly what to speak when. So Maharaj said, imagine you are going in a bike and some truck hits you from behind like this. You fall on the side and you hit a stone. And on the spot, you go back to Godhead. Next moment. Do you prefer such a death? Or the truck hits you, you fall on the side, you hit your head, and then your hands or legs broke, and then you are admitted in the hospital. Then you get a lifelong ailment to be bedridden for next 20 years, and you have to pass stool and urine in the bed only, and somebody has to attend to you, and you became invalid. So would you like to be like that? So one or two, like that Maharaj asked. Everybody chose which one you think? Yeah? Anybody? Option?
First one.
First.
Everybody said first one.
One Prabhu.
Yeah, and for second one, nobody said, I want to live for 20 more years, bedridden, passing stool and urine. And Maharaj didn't even say one word about Krishnadas Prabhu. And therefore he passed. He didn't say like that. He made us understand. So Maharaj was telling that Krishna knows what is best for everybody. So we don't have to interpret Krishna's plan. We may not be able to interpret also. We see the present isolated from past and future. You only see the present. So we are in one sense we are very short-sighted. So, but we should actually, all of us are devotees. So we should give faith to others who are coming to the path of devotional service. So I'm going to tell you one last thing, and I'm going to conclude my talk, and then we can take some these things. So, see, this is called, okay, I'll share this with you. You can tell me whether you are able to see. You're able to see this? It's called ABCDEFG in faith building. 7 aspects of faith. The first aspect of faith is A. Please somebody read this.
All good. Krishna is all good, and I accept whatever he sends me as his love.
Correct. Krishna is all good, and he cannot be bad. And this is how he accepted, our Bali Maharaj accepted. He told, my dear Lord, you're coming as Vamana and then growing your body and taking away everything from me, but you are all good. Everything that emanates from you is love. Like a mother may sometimes pinch a child or slap a child because child is naughty. Child knows my mother is not my enemy. Mother is making me study for my good. So we should have a firm faith that whatever Krishna is doing for me is for my good. That is one aspect of faith. And the second one, yeah, please read it. Yeah?
Best decision. Krishna always makes best decision, whatever I can understand, his ways or not. So I will accept it, whatever it is, pleasurable or painful.
So Krishna knows best. God knows best. His decisions are best. So there is a small movie in this, but the movie will take almost 4-5 minutes. So I will send it to Leelanand Prabhu, and he will send it to all of you. Huh? So you can see that movie. That movie will teach you this point. So therefore, I'm not going to explain this point. After you see the movie, you will know this. Huh? Okay, and then this one. Actually, in this connection, one another little story you all know. A man was sleeping in the forest under a tree, and he was making some comments about God. He said, God must be crazy. Such a big banyan tree made a small fruit. Such a small creeper, he made a big pumpkin. Huh? God must be crazy, he said. And then he went to sleep. And then the small fruit fell on his forehead. Huh? And then he jumped up from his sleep. It was so painful. Then he said, oh, thank God you made a small fruit. If you put a pumpkin-like fruit on the top of the tree, my head would have broken now, he said. So then he said, God knows best. So he said. So see, yeah, please read it.
Conviction.
Shraddha
Shraddha.
Shakti Vishwasa ko hai, Sudrida Nishchay, Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita hai. Yeah.
Prabhupada writes that a devotee with such faith feels that if he can attain Krishna consciousness, all his desires will be fulfilled.
That means the devotee is fully convinced that I just have to become Krishna conscious, that's all. Everything else Krishna will take care. Just like a child knows my mom will take care when it is winter season, she'll give me winter clothes. When it is whatever is necessary for me, she will take care. So that type of faith the devotee has. Corona comes, okay, I will take whatever caution I should take. But over and above that, what can I do? What if Krishna wants me to die, I will die. Krishna wants me to live, I will live. So devotee has no fear at all. Devotee has full conviction that Krishna is watching and he is conducting, orchestrating everything. Things are not happening whimsically. It is all Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti 9.10 Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, read the next.
Does require proof,
Doesn't
evidence,
require.
does not require proof, evidence, unquestioning belief. The dictionary defines faith as unquestioning belief in God, unquestioning belief that does not require proof or evidence.
After some time, the devotee develops unquestioning belief. Now, no more questions now. Anything Krishna does, he is satisfied. Just like Parikshit has no questions. When the death came to him in the form of a Takshaka snake, he had no questions at all. And when Chitraketu was cursed to become a Vritrasura, he had no questions at all. They were all ready to, with open arms, they accepted what came in their life. Jadabharata, those Kali worshippers, they put him and they were about to cut him. They accepted. He knows that God knows best. No unquestioning belief they had actually. Yes.
Emergency. There is nothing more important than the development of Krishna consciousness.
This is what Bhaksan Thakur emphasized when our Abhay Charan met him, first meeting, isn't it? Krishna consciousness emergency. Yeah.
Fixed upon its most important importance and value. A devotee with Nishtha may not have attained the goal, but it is fixed on its importance and value.
The devotee Nishtha stage is fixed on its importance. And that means Krishna consciousness is most important for me. It's the greatest object of value, and material goals, even if I achieve or not, it doesn't matter. I have to become Krishna conscious in this very life. Everything else is secondary. Like that, the devotee in Nishtha stage is very firmly fixed in the desire to attain the ultimate goal. Yeah. Yeah.
God's promises and action are fully trustworthy. Faith is trust in God, in his action and promises. This is the kind of faith required for a devotee.
Yeah. Yeah. We should have faith in both things. That means, Krishna's promises, like he says, Kaunteya Pratijanihi, Name Bhakta Pranashyati. And we should also have faith in not only Krishna's words, many, many words he has said. Nahi Kalyana Kutkashit Durgatim Tata Gacchati, he says. And also Krishna says that, Mamekam Saranam Braja, if you surrender to me, Aham Tvam Sarva Pape Vimokshayishyami. So we should have faith in Krishna's words and Krishna's actions also. What actions he has done in different devotees' lives. How he protected Pandavas, how he protected Prahalad, how he protected Ambarish. We are hearing those pastimes. We should develop a very firm faith in Lord's protection as well as his words. So all these things put together It is just 1 minute. Where is that? Yeah, I'm just going to show you all in one place. If any of you want to take a snapshot, you can take this. You can take a snapshot of this, all of them in one place. This much. Oh, sorry. Yeah. This is in one sheet. You can see whatever I told you just now. So 7 aspects of Shraddha, firm faith. So when you all go back, you can think about each of this. How is your faith in each of these things? And one video also I will send you, small 5-minute video, you will really enjoy for the second one. Now let us take some reflections from devotees. Yeah, please go ahead. Anybody would like to say something?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
Pranam, Prabhuji.
Tanush Pandav, yeah, please go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
Karuna Radhika, Prabhuji.
Yes, Majid.
Prabhuji, thank you so much for this valuable class. I think it's very timely and helps all of us. One question I think that needs clarification from you, Prabhu. I think being in Krishna consciousness, there is some confusion about, what, like you have faith in Krishna and everybody is saying that, Krishna will protect. So having faith is good, but I notice again, being a physician, that without taking due care, putting everything on Krishna is like, putting a lamp out in the air and thinking that Krishna is going to protect. So that aspect needs a little clarification for all of us.
Actually,
like where our effort comes in and where Krishna's mercy comes in.
Yeah. When is our effort considered going out of bounds, and when is our effort appropriate? I can clearly demarcate between the two. Say, for example, repeatedly announcements are being made that people should keep social distancing, they should wear masks, and they should sanitize themselves, and also not expose themselves to harmful this thing. And also, kada medicinal syrup you take, and also gargling and steam inhalation. All these things are prescribed, and many people are doing all these things. And as devotees, one should not think I have a body of a Superman or a superwoman. We have also material bodies that are fragile, which are subjected to the material laws also in the material world. So we definitely have to take the same precautions what the other, karmis or non-devotees may take. We have to take the same precautions. And one should not become lazy in doing that, saying, like Mata was saying, that no, Krishna will take care of me. Like one time I was walking in Grant Road along with Zonas Bhaktirasamrita Maharaj in the very early days, 91, I think. Yeah. So that time the cars and buses were going very fast, zoom, 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 zoom in the road. So I was walking on the road. So Maharaj felt that I am a little careless. So immediately he pulled me and told me, "You come on this side," he said. Then told me to walk on that side. Then he told me, how are you walking carelessly on the road? These people are ruthless, he said. Sometimes they may be going very fast in the car. They may just hit you and go. You should take care of yourself. So I spoke to him saying that, anyway, even if I lose my body, I'll get replacement. Because material body is not permanent. One goes and another one will come. So he said, no, you can't say that, he said, because this body doesn't belong to you. Your body belongs to Krishna. When he told that Sanatana Goswami's pastime, Lord Chaitanya said, Sanatana, how can you kill your body by putting it under the Rath cart? How can you commit suicide? You already given your body to me. Your body is owned by me. Same thing Maharaj said, your body is property of Krishna, and you should protect it well and utilize it in Krishna's service, and don't foolishly lose it in an accident or something like that. So in the same manner, in the name of being very confident and having faith in Krishna, if we don't do our part, then we will be inviting trouble unnecessarily. We should do our part surely. But at the same time, when is it considered overboard from our part? Some people are becoming, just like there is cleanliness phobia. Huh? Some people have phobia for cleanliness. Huh? Similarly, some people have phobia for corona. Huh? Even there are devotees who are watching hundreds of corona videos in YouTube, huh? News about corona and everything. So one devotee came to me and said, Prabhuji, even when I am sleeping at night, I am getting corona dreams. Huh? You know, that a big ball-like, sphere-like thing and all this protruding out. He's getting dreams of corona because he is watching. So I told him, it's very dangerous for you because if you die in this consciousness, you'll become a corona only. You'll become a corona virus. Huh? You become associate of coronavirus, society. It's very dangerous. Huh? So we need spiritual mental absorption, not corona absorption. So therefore, we should do our part, but not become panicky or not become overly conscious of it and overly fearful of it. That's not very good. And that is one of the reasons I spoke all these things today. Is it all right, Maji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, she's a doctor, so she knows very well that what are the basic things to be taken care. But many people, devotees, are pretty careless, pretty careless, and that is not very good. Once nowadays, if you are careless and corona catches you, there is no bed available in the hospitals. All hospitals are overflooding with patients. Today, our Leelanand was telling me, even if you give 10 lakh rupees, the hospitals are saying, sorry, we have no place. You know, see, our hospitals are overflooding now. So therefore, we don't want to be careless. We should definitely take due precaution. When I was coming in the flight to Hyderabad, you know, in a plane where you can have 150, 200 people, only 30 people are there. Where if you are traveling actually, in my seat only, I was only one sitting, the entire 3 seats. It's very scantily populated. People are, outside people are taking utmost caution actually. As devotees, we also should be very careful about everything. At the same time, things have not stopped or come to a standstill like before. It's not, they didn't go for a lockdown now. How long will they do lockdown? So they are only warning us to take due caution individually. So that's why we say, do your best and let Krishna do the rest. Thank you. Maji, you want to add anything to this?
Thank you, Prabhuji. No, Prabhuji.
You are a doctor, you can advise all of us.
I did, Prabhuji. I've been sending messages because we are seeing the real story, Prabhuji. It's very, very pathetic that, you know, when somebody needs medical care or bed and we are unable to give. So
Yeah.
for us also.
Yeah.
And a lot of stress, just, you know, thinking about it and seeing the patients. So I think we'll all be doing service to ourselves, to Krishna and the society if individually we take care, Prabhu. So we are not, you know, overwhelming the healthcare system. So
Correct.
even though the government is not doing the lockdown or anything, I think individually we have a responsibility to, you know,
Yeah.
curtail this. So my humble request to everyone on this forum to kindly, you know, please be careful. And like Prabhuji, you're saying, you know, we have our bodies are what Krishna gave, and we have a lot more service to do. So
Yeah.
I just request everybody to be very, very careful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And doctors are all overly taxed. Yes, Leland, go ahead, please. Yeah.
No, I would just like to take this opportunity to thank Karuna Radhika Mataji, Shyam Madhav Prabhu, Krishna Dulal Prabhu, and many other doctors in our devotee community here who are extending so much help to the devotees. Prabhuji, it's unbelievable. Where the beds are not available, even for the directors of the hospitals, somehow these devotees are making it possible for other devotees. Really, like in my own father's case, it was impossible to get a bed, and I don't know how Shamada Prabhu managed a bed. In the night, mid of the night, he was there throughout the night searching for a bed for my father. Who would do this to anyone? I really want. I'm so grateful to all the Dr. Prabhujis and Matajis. They are really, really sacrificing so much for others and also for devotees. Prabhuji, just wanted to let you know.
Yeah. Also, our Leelanand Prabhu's father is in a very challenging situation, admitted in the hospital. We will all pray for him. Very good soul. Both his mother and father are gem-like devotees, and they have given us Leelananda Prabhu, such a wonderful devotee. He is under oxygen this thing supply now, and the last few days steady supply of oxygen is going on. So let us offer our sincere prayers to Prabhuji. Prabhu, you tell your father's name.
Nama Keshav Das.
Nam Kishore.
Nama Keshav Das.
Nam Keshav Prabhu. So our sincere prayers for swift recovery of Nam Keshav Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Anybody else wishes to say anything, Prabhus, Mataji? Anybody?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam Prabhu.
Ah.
Please accept my humble obeisances. In extension to our Karuna Radhika Mataji's question, there are some sincere senior devotees who got this materialistic disease. Even Pankajangri Prabhu, who has been doing lot of services in Mayapur, he has been hospitalized and he is in a critical condition.
Yeah.
So, of course, today I had a question in our Warangal temple also, one devotee asking, similar to the question asked by Mataji, when and where Krishna will come into picture in rescuing sincere and dedicated devotees. It looks as if they are almost equal to non-devotees also in resisting, in avoiding, in coming out of the situations. It looks like, as Mataji is telling, when oxygen is not there, everyone is getting succumbed. That devotee is asking when and where Krishna will come in rescuing even the body or consciousness. Anyway, consciousness, we are different, Prabhuji. But in body-wise, health-wise, when and where he will come into rescue. Of course, I answered him to some level, but I want to hear from you in this regard.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, actually, Prabhu, Iswanath Bhaktishar Maharaj was going to America. Probably you would have heard his lecture just before going, what he spoke. He said, my disciples and my godbrothers are working so hard in America, so, how long can we, keep on staying within four walls and, we have to do something in Prabhupada mission, otherwise everything will be stagnated. So that was so his whole mati or consciousness was posted in expanding the preaching movement and developing preaching when he was going to the West. And then if you ask the astrologers, they will tell you, it was actually time for Maharaj to depart. Actually, it was appropriate time. He is also hinted by Krishna from within that you should wind up your term here and join Prabhupada elsewhere in another universe, wherever Prabhupada is preaching. So these things, Corona and other things, just become a nimitta. They become like an instrument at that time for triggering or preparing a person to leave the scene and go to another place and join. Now, if great devotees are getting Corona, it's not that they were careless or something. Many of them have been very careful also.
Correct.
Like I was telling you, in our ashram, in our temple, 5-6 months, there was no Corona at all. Because I was very rigid with brahmacharis. We had locked up the gate, we had a wonderful dancing, chanting, morning program, classes, everything going on. I have been doing a lot of lockdown programs and all. Suddenly one day, managers brought to me saying that 15, 20 of our brahmacharis got COVID. And I asked suddenly how they got it all of a sudden. Then I found out Balram Jayanti, they purchased garland from outside. I had told them never to take flower from outside. But then some of them told that, hey, don't ask Radhesham Prabhu, he will not allow. Now we will just take only for festival we will take. So without my knowledge, they brought it. And all the fellows who made the garland, they are the ones who got it. Because Corona came through the garland, came through the flowers. From outside it came. So I am telling you, I am so strict and everything. Our managers are all putting their head down saying, sorry Prabhu, this is one thing we didn't ask you. We thought nothing will happen and everything they were saying. So why I am saying, despite our taking all caution, precaution, everything, there are going to be some blunders which will happen, So beyond, therefore we should do our best, whatever we can. After that, we have to face, let us cross the bridge when it comes, we say, As the problems come, we should be willing to tackle it and go on. And as I told you, devotee has no loss at all, even if you have to lose the body. Our bhakti is evolved so much in this life by the mercy of spiritual master and other Vaishnavas. So we should be able to see the Atma Tattvam. This devotee is so evolved. If he is leaving the body, he is going with that consciousness to the next body. There he is going to continue with the same spirit.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. Just want to share one realization that I had.
Yeah, please.
Yes, Prabhuji. Actually, we also had to go through Corona thing. That one thing I realized, Prabhuji, this pandemic has in fact, built, increased our community relationship. As a ISKCON, as a community, we all are praying together. We are
Yes.
coming to help each other. Like devotees are bringing prasadam to us, and it's helping. The devotee relationships among each other has increased a lot because of this pandemic.
You are
And we
right.
as a community, that it is building up our relationships. So I think that way I found it very positive. Everyone is praying so fervently for everyone. So this has really brought us very close as a family, which Srila Prabhupada wanted.
Yeah.
This is
Very true. In fact, all over the ISKCON world, what Mataji is saying is true. Many devotees are saying the similar thing. They are saying that we never have had so many lectures, so much devotee interactions, because we were too busy before. Now in the pandemic time, everybody is locked within four walls, but through the Zoom media, Google Meet and all, devotees are contacting, and the book reading has increased a lot amongst devotees. Devotees are making circles amongst themselves, and on Zoom they are reading together. In this way, I think devotees are, the Preeti Lakshanam is increasing more and more, as Mataji has rightly said. Thank you, Maji. That was a brilliant point. Thank you for bringing it up. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat.
Yes, Krishnaswamy Prabhu. Yeah, please.
So wonderful talk and wonderful information we shared, Prabhu. But one thing I wanted to, because of my ignorance, I would like to seek your inputs on this. What I have observed, maybe wrong, Prabhu, that in ISKCON we are not emphasizing so much on fitness, especially on the health factor. So we are more emphasizing on the preaching and you're not this body, your spirit, soul. That's all good, Prabhu, but we have to deal with our health also, like yoga tips and some Vedic way of living. That is not so much emphasized. So is there anything that we should be doing, or is my understanding wrong?
That is one thing you will do a great service, either yourself or someone recommended by you. I feel that many ISKCON devotees are unaware of the danger of eating junk food, and like for example pastries and that kind of burger and all these things. Many times many ISKCON devotees, the kind of foodstuff they eat is unconducive for spiritual advancement. Food also. In the same manner, the lifestyle, we have to chant. At the same time, if there is no exercising at all in the body, they're all the time sitting, then the body gets diseased also. Therefore, I was quoting the example of Prabhupada. Prabhupada actually goes for a walk. Prabhupada also takes oil bath, and he's keeping himself fit for serving Krishna. So we also recommend the devotees that don't be neglectful about taking care of the body. Sometimes in the name of preaching expansion, people become like too much oriented towards run, that type of life. What you said is correct. So health is important, sleep is important, exercising is important, and also taking time for one's own development is also important. Therefore, even Mahaprabhu, Janma Sarthaka Kori, Karapara Upakar, he says. First we have to take care of ourselves, then we can do good to the world. So we have to keep a balance between the two. That's a good point, Prabhu. Thank you. And also Deepak Prabhu has asked a question that we are all doing bhakti with some lot of shortcomings and anarthas. In case we leave the body, what will be our gati? No? So sometimes we become panicky because we may lose such a wonderful association. And but if we postpone our seriousness in doing bhakti for later age, so he was asking that at the moment it seems that we have not yet become purified. Suddenly, if we leave the body, what will happen to us? Good question, yeah. So yes, actually, because you are longing for association, if somebody leaves the body longing for association, they are very, very fortunate souls. Because one who is longing for association will get that type of association. Like there is one verse in Vishnu Sahasranam, it says, Vedanta go, I'll tell you, the Brahmanas become Vedanta, they become expert in the Vedanta. Kshatriyo vijayi bhavet, vaishyo dhana samriddhi, shudro sakamavapniyat, vasudeva shrayo martyo, vasudeva parayana. Like that it says. What is the meaning of this? Vedanta go Brahmana syat. If you are a Brahmana, you read Vishnu Sahasranam, you will become an expert in Vedanta. And if you are a Kshatriya, you will get Vijay in the battle. If you are a Vaishya, you will get Dhana Samruddhi. If you are a Shudra, you will get Sukhama Vapni. That means food, clothing, shelter you will get. And if you are a Vasudeva Bhakta, Vasudeva Ashrayo Martyo, if you are Krishna conscious devotee, if you leave the body, Vasudeva Parayana, again you will become Krishna's devotee. Like that he says. If you are a Krishna's devotee now and you leave the body, again you will become Krishna's devotee. And you will continue from where you left. So in that sense, there is no loss. In case my advancement is minimal right now, I will continue advancing from where I leave. If I left at 20%, I'll start from 21. If I left at 50, I'll start from 51. So there's no loss. Yeah. And Prem Kidrupa, would you like to add anything? You can unmute yourself. You can unmute yourself. Yes, Prabhu.
It was a very wonderful presentation of the present situation, Prabhu, by you. And Dr. Karuna Radhika Mataji also suggested that devotees should take proper precautions. And this is the time that we keep our health. We should give preference to our health first. And at the same time, we should sadhana, do sadhana also. Because sadhana is very important. We are maintaining health for doing good sadhana. So this is the top priority that we give.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And also, if you increase the immunity of your body, then you face hardly any problem. Actually, immunity should be increased. Therefore, you all know that to take advice from Ayurvedic doctors and everybody, keep yourself healthy and keep health and hygiene, cleanliness also. Yeah. And Prashant Prabhu is saying, I too experienced the same thing what Mataji has said when our family got COVID. All the devotees have supported us. But one thing I want clarification about this, Prabhuji, is this happened to us due to our previous karma or anarthas? Actually, it's very difficult for us to know what is causing us a particular problem now. Like, for example, you go to a doctor saying that you have a, doctor tells you there's a malaria you have. You ask him, how did the malaria come? He will tell you through malaria mosquito. If you ask him which mosquito, then he may not be able to catch the mosquito and bring it for you. But you know that right now you got it. You know it. Similarly, when we are getting some disease, is it due to past karma? Actually, our past karma are all burnt away by Krishna. But Krishna keeps it with him and he releases it whenever he finds that it is good for us, for our purification. He does it. So therefore, I will send that movie clip to Lilananda Prabhu. God knows best. And then he will share it with all of you. Lilananda Prabhu, how will you share it with everybody and the same devotees? Or you can put it in the slate circle, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I can. If it's a YouTube link, I can send the link in the WhatsApp group, Prabhuji.
If I send you by email, you will forward to them?
Yes, I can take care of this.
I will do it, yeah. So, Purna Krishna Prabhu is saying, the start of the class, Prabhuji, you mentioned real story of one man who left his body very cheerfully, even though he earned a lot, approximately 35 crore rupees, hearing the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam from you, starting with 2% of Parikshit Maharaj. Yeah, correct. That is true, yeah. Actually, one good thing with that fellow was, he comes from a good family and he has been worshipping Krishna without much knowledge of philosophy. From childhood, because Srinathji, big, huge Srinathji is there in their house, but mother is a very ardent devotee. So because of that piety, even though he was faced with danger, Prabhupada says, if a person is a pious person, when there is a danger, he will run to the lotus feet of Krishna. If one is impious, he will become an atheist. He will run away from Krishna. So that was the advantage of that good soul. So he could leave the body in a good consciousness. I told all the family members, nothing to worry. He is a very intelligent person. He understood the philosophy well. He is going to a very good family. So because they all heard the Katha philosophy, they could digest it. Because he was not very old. He was pretty young. So they could take it a right spirit. As I told you, everybody's body has to expire one day in this world. How we live is most important. So can we conclude with a short kirtan? Lilanpu, can I do a short kirtan and conclude?
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a question. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was-
please go ahead. Yeah.
Prabhuji, generally when we talk about we are not this body, we are the soul, and there is in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita also Lord Krishna gives so much Sankhya,
Yeah.
knowledge about soul.
Correct.
That knowledge kind of gives, some renunciation. It gives a feeling of renunciation, but it doesn't remove the fear. I felt like that. Can you explain?
Actually, the fear is there because although we theoretically know I am not the body, I am the spirit soul, there is a fear that my body may be damaged by accident or my body will be stripped off by, we may have that type of fear because theoretically knowing is one thing and realizing is another thing. For example, the Jadabharata was realized. Therefore, when the Kali worshippers, they brought that chopper near his neck, he didn't cry or he didn't run away, he didn't protest. So he's fully realized the soul. So in our stage, we are all practicing devotees. So at least we know the philosophy at least. Hmm? At least we are aware of the philosophy, isn't it? Because once you are aware of the philosophy, then from there you can develop. Yeah, then we can read the section of Chitraketu. Chitraketu section, there is a funny example I heard from Paramahansa Radha Govind Maharaj. Maharaj was telling that one lady had a cow. So she used to very much care for her cow, my cow, my cow. She was very fond of the cow. But later she became poor, so she sold the cow to one lady who was 3 lanes away, up beyond 3 lanes. So one day by mistake, that cow came to this lady's house who originally had it before, and was eating in the garden. Immediately she took a stick and came to beat the cow. Hey, why are you coming to my garden and eating now? You are not my cow anymore. So that lady who came, she came and said, hey, this was your cow before. Little bit grass the cow is eating. Why are you beating it with a stick? So there, Maharaj was quoting this example to say, the mamata is there only as long as the soul is in our house. But once the soul leaves this house and goes to another place, that mamatvam also goes away. Like that one verse says that. So you can see how ridiculous it is. We become so materially attached to some soul in this family now. When they go to another family, we treat them as a different. About the soul, and then the example is given just like the currency note jumps from your pocket to another person's pocket, third pocket, fourth pocket. Currency note doesn't remain with anybody. Foolishly, some people take the currency note and put their signature. You have seen that? What is the use of having signature and currency note? It's not going to remain with us. Similarly, we also become attached to our relatives so much, we think they are going to be with us forever. But like currency note, they keep moving, like gold or currency notes, they keep moving from one person to another family. So therefore, one should, in this world, one should see all one's relatives as part and parcels of Krishna, who are put under my custody in this lifetime. And I should offer them Krishna consciousness, facility for becoming Krishna conscious, and protect their Krishna consciousness. Be kind to them, and be a representative of Guru and Krishna for them. And that is the best service we can do for them. And then they will stay in our custody for some time and they will push off. Everybody has to drive their own plane. Everybody has their own fighter jet. Fighter jet, only one can sit there. Isn't it? At the most two. Two means we and super soul. Myself and my super soul, that's all. Only 2 can sit. Everybody's plane is like that. So this type of understanding of how everybody is moving, just like the example is given, Yata prayanti samyanti sroto vegena bhadukaha samyujjante vyujjante tata kalena dehinaha. Narada Muni says this. He says just like leaves sometimes fall from a tree, like 5-6 leaves come together when they move in a river. And then they get separated and they meet another group of leaves and they go like that. Similarly, all the jivas are like those leaves which come together and get separated. Prayanti, Samyanti says they come together and they... So when we see from a large scale perspective of the truth like this, then we will be peaceful. Yeah, and also Sakhi Seva Mataji has written a point here. Definitely, Corona has made us to have deeper relationship, or we may have taken shelter of our utter dependency. How to understand these circumstantial emotions and how to carry the consciousness of gratitude forever, how to preserve the relationship. Good question. Very nice question. Very good. So what Mata is saying, circumstantially, suddenly our relationships are thickening and we are exchanging with each other, and so we may become very good friends with some devotees. But just like, for example, people going to Gulf, all over they find Allahu Akbar, like that they are hearing everywhere, Allahu Allah. Huh? So they all immediately come to Friday program and become thickly related devotees in the Gulf, huh? Because everywhere you see mosque everywhere. Huh? So because of circumstantial reason, they become thick in relationship. But that thickening of relationship which happens should become so deep that even if there won't be mosques all around, and even if they come back to India, they should continue to have that relationship. That will happen when the relationship becomes spiritual. Material relationships are always changing. Because when I am in Sattva-guna, two devotees in Sattva-guna, they relate very well. Very, very polite and humble and forgiving and understanding and everything. But when they go to Rajoguna, they come down to Rajoguna, they both fight like cats and dogs. So material platform is always flickering platform. Therefore, we should elevate it to Vishuddha Sattva relationship, pure spiritual relationship. Then it will remain forever. Gratitude will remain forever. Yeah. So that was a good point. Very good. Yeah.
Prabhuji, I have one more question. Is that okay?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Prabhuji, I've heard from different devotees the consciousness while we leave the body from material world.
Yeah.
One devotee, I've liked all those things, but I'm just repeating. So one devotee says, if you're not completely frustrated with the material world, you will come back here. I've heard that point somewhere. and another devotee says, no, you don't have to be frustrated. If you're serving Krishna in this world, this material world is equal to spiritual world. You can happily leave whenever you leave. You should not have any attachment to the material world. Well, we are attached to the devotees, to the association, and we will miss all this that Krishna has given us here. So how do we balance this thought process of like being frustrated? Is it needed to be frustrated when we are leaving this material world? I wanted to ask.
Actually, there are three types of people. Prabhupada says Dhira, Sannyasi and Narottama. Prabhupada quotes in 1.13, first canto, 13th chapter. A Dhira means a man who has developed aversion for his family members. He had picked up a big fight with them and he has turned away from them and he is now a renounced person. He wants to get rid of family, is frustrated with the family life. Is Dhira. Then he talks about sannyasi. So he actually lives away from the family and is trying to approach the impersonal absolute truth understanding. Then Narottama is actually a person. The definition is given for Narottama. Yosvakat parato veha jata nirveda atmavan smritim kritva harin gehat prabrajet sa Narottama. That's the definition. What he says? Yosvakat parato va iha. He's saying either by his own contemplation or by the preaching of other devotees, Yosvakat paratova iha, jata nirveda atmavan. He develops detachment from sense gratification in the material world. He understands that the path of sense gratification is painful. It can't make me happy. That's one thing. First realization he gets. And then hridim kritva harim gehat. Carrying Lord Hari in his heart, he leaves the home, he says. And prabrajet sa Narottama. He goes on a pilgrimage and eventually to take sannyas. That is our Vidura. So two things are said. One should know that material pleasures cannot make me happy. That's one realization. Nateshu ramate buddha. And the second realization is I should carry Krishna in my heart. If I don't have a higher taste, mere frustration of the material enjoyment is not enough. We should also have a param drishtva nivartate. So Vaishnava philosophy means we should have a higher taste. We should. What you said is correct. In fact, higher taste very easily defeats the lower taste also. Cultivating higher taste. Actually, how it is, Chakravarti Thakur gives example that like you have a kuladi, axe in your hand, but you see a beautiful rose in the garden. Now you are actually digging here, digging there. Suddenly when you see the rose, you go and pluck the rose. So the plucking of the rose and leaving the axe, they happen simultaneously. So the axe represents detachment, and the plucking of the rose represents higher taste in Krishna consciousness. So when you get higher taste, you don't have to separately worry about detachment. Detachment automatically comes. At the same time, we should also say that why Krishna gives jnana from 13th chapter to 18th chapter in Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, why he gives Uddhava Gita in 11th canto. The reason is devotees tend to become little playful while practicing Krishna consciousness and little mischievous. So therefore, he is teaching jnana also. So don't become careless. Just like Bharat Maharaj became little careless. I had spoken a lecture just a couple of days ago. Nazar Gati, Durgatna Gati. Correct? No? Nazar Hati, Durgatna Gati. They say, no? So we have to be careful and not careless. So, because it is said, if you take Krishna consciousness casually, you will become casualty, it is said. So, therefore, he gives jnana also. So, I would say we should take both hand in hand and go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So, Giriraj Prabhu, Sri Giriraj Prabhu was asking, what is the Srimad Bhagavatam verse you just quoted out? That is, Yo Svakat Parato Ve Jata Nirved Atmaman. So, this is the first canto, chapter 13. In chapter 13, we'll get 1.13. Yo Svakat Parato Veha. If you put Hridim Kritva Harim Gehat Prabrajet Sa Naratama. This is in Vidura section, the first canto. So can we do a short kirtan or we are running out of time? 5 minutes all right?
Yeah, we have time, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Mridanga. You can play Kartal? Kartal. Okay. One devotee can call for Kartal, I'll play Mridanga. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama together. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Jaya Jaya Radhe, Jaya Jaya Shyam, Jaya Jaya Shri Vrindavan Dham. Jaya Jaya Krishna, Jaya Jaya Shri Vrindavan Dham. Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Radhe. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Sai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga. Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन के अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की श्रील प्रभुपाद की. Today I heard that it is, I saw one message by Girivar Prabhu. Today is Girivar Prabhu's You know Girivar Prabhu, you all know Girivar Prabhu is in
Adilabad.
Adilabad. Today is his son Chaitanya's birthday today. All of you please bless the child. He has two beautiful sons and one little daughter. Girivar Prabhu, your son is Chaitanya and the other fellow is Nitai and
Nityananda.
Brinda. What is daughter's name?
Tulsi.
Tulsi, yeah, Tulsi. Yeah. Tulsi. So today is Chaitanya's birthday. So I'll request all the devotees to pray for your son, okay? So,
Thank you very much, bro.
thank you. Murli Gopinath Prabhu also told me that coming Sunday morning, he told me to address all the congregation. He told me that it will be nice, Prabhuji, if you can give something encouraging to the congregation during this COVID times when people are facing a lot of challenges. So I'm going to speak another topic other than what I spoke today. If you all have time, you're welcome to join. I'm just speaking for an hour coming Sunday, I think 9:30 to 10:30, I think. Yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna.